Everyone knows the bottle, but do you know the story behind it? Welcome to Behind the Bottle by Celia Maestri, where the real stories of the tequila world are finally poured out. From bold beginnings to industry secrets, it's time for a deeper sip into the lives behind the spirits. Pour a glass, take a seat. The story's just getting good.
Welcome to Behind the Bottle, Tequila Tales. We have a special guest today, Dave. I cannot pronounce your last name, but you can say.
It's Blagg.
Okay. So thank you very much to flying all the way from Michigan to have this podcast today. I thought we would do, in Zoom, but I am very happy that you came all the way down here.
Can't say no to you.
Thank you. But let's start telling us about your background.
Well, at a young age, I knew that I didn't want to ever really work for anybody, if that makes sense. I watched my parents work nonstop, never really have much. So, I always had that drive to want to do something on my own. So I got into lawn and landscape when I was very young. I thought that would be an easy way. It's something I started when I was real young. I have the ability to work my butt off. I never stop. So that was a lot of fun. I did that for a long time. Very early on, I got burnout because I was working 7 days a week, sun up to sundown, basically. My wife, who I met in high school, we've been together since 98. She was a senior in high school and I just graduated. She wanted to follow her career and I was burnt out real bad. So I stepped away from that. We moved from Kansas City to Michigan and we started a family. I stayed home for both of my daughters until they went to school full time. And then my next venture was randomly bought a liquor store, is how I kind of got into this. 2014, 2015, I ended up owning two, doing very well for a little bit. The second one I opened, the one that I poured my heart and soul in, I wanted to make a really elegant, more wine shop, higher end liquor, that kind of thing. I spent a lot of time in there. I built every shelf. I did everything. And we opened up the second week of December in 2019. So you know what's coming just a few months later. And it ruined me. So
you couldn't sell even online?
So no, not in Michigan. Here's the thing. In Michigan, liquor stores got to stay open. So
it's controlled state, isn't it?
Yeah. We got to stay open. And it was amazing. Because every other store was closed. If you were a liquor store, you were allowed to stay open. But something happened after the state opened back up. We were closed down for like 4 months, couldn't do anything. And as soon as that happened, for the next year-ish, I struggled. It put me under. There was just no business, none. Yeah. I think people maybe drank a little too much while we were locked down up there. I don't know what the answer is. I failed somehow. I've just never been able to figure out what that is.
But. Yeah, because in that COVID era, people drink a lot at home, but they didn't go out.
No. So our state closed down on March, I want to say 18th. I went from, not to get in the weeds, but I went from on a typical day during the week, a Monday through Thursday. We won't count Friday. I would have had 10 to 15 transactions before 3 p.m, and then it would explode as people were getting off of work. I'd have 300 transactions. I'd open at 9. I'd have 300 transactions before noon. It was the craziest thing. I couldn't keep champagne and orange juice. People were drinking mimosas on their Zoom
Before
calls.
Or after?
During COVID.
During COVID.
Yeah.
But the store didn't work.
Afterwards.
Oh, afterwards.
So once the state opened back up and all the other stores opened.
I got it now. Mm-hmm.
It just ended. I don't know.
Yeah.
I've never been able to figure it out. I don't know if maybe people got so used to their little area that they wouldn't. I'm in a tourist town. I'm right on Lake Michigan, and we get a lot of business from Chicago and Grand Rapids. And I think maybe people that were coming to their boats or to the beach or anything like that, they had gotten used to buying in their little area that they didn't travel to. Yeah. And because I'm in a tourist town, in the summers when things are busy, most of the people in the town kind of scurry away to get away from all the madness.
Did you keep the other store or no?
No.
Both?
No, I had closed them both. Had to. It was not good.
So you start all over again?
Kind of, yes. Well, not really kind of, yes. I was lucky enough to meet Jeff, my partner, in Serpentes. I met him beginning of 2019. He walked into my first store and he put this bottle in front of me. And at the time, I was, a very opinionated store owner, thought I knew everything about the business. He was 22 just a kid to me, walked in and he put this snake bottle on my shelf, all black, called Serpentes, and it was a vodka. And I looked at him. I said, what? He introduced himself and I was like, well, are you trying to sell me a gimmick? Like, what is this? And I proceeded to berate him for 30 or 45 minutes about his bottle. It's a gimmick. Nobody's going to buy it over the age of 21, 22. This is a joke. I bet you the juice is bad. I was being mean. I don't know why I was, but I was. I'm not typically like that. But he stood there and took it from me. I'm not, not to say imposing or anything like that, but I was being mean. And he just stood there and took it. And at the end, he finally said, well, do you think you'd just carry one bottle? Because in Michigan, you can buy just one bottle from the state. Mm-hmm. And I told him, since you stood, I just turned right then and there. I said, since you stood and took it, I'll start with a cake. Because he lived right down the road from me. Okay. So because of that, I wanted to try it. He told me a story. He actually started with his dad. It was kind of a thing. And his dad ended up passing away and he was trying to keep going with it. Everything I said about that bottle was wrong. I stuck that bottle in an aisle full of vodka, which there's no real bottles that stand out, right? Mm-hmm. Every single person, whether they bought it or not, 10 people walked down that aisle, 10 people stopped and looked and touched or talked about that bottle or asked a question. And I ended up I sold more of his vodka in the state than any other place. Now, it was an expensive vodka, so it wasn't like I sold 100 cases a week. I would sell one case a week. But we kind of became friends over that time. About a year went by and he told me he was going to stop. He was going to take a job in Chicago and he was going to be done with it unless I helped him do a bourbon. I had been doing a lot of bourbon picks at my store with bourbon groups. And I know a lot of people in the industry. I didn't want to do that, but I loved tequila. I knew nothing about tequila. I knew that if you take two brands that I knew of at the time, and you kind of mixed them at a half and half ratio together, that it was my favorite thing in the world. And I loved it. And so I told him, let's do tequila and I'll do it. And he said, yes. A year later, my stores were done. And a few months after I closed the stores, I was on a plane to Mexico for the first time.
And what year was?
21.
21.
No, 20.
After?
No, 21.
20 was
21.
20, yeah.
It was 21. Very beginning of the summer, 21.
Yeah, by the end of the COVID, kind of.
We had done all the paperwork and gotten everything set up with you guys, just through email back and forth talking and stuff like that.
Who was your main person?
Evelyn.
Okay. So, so you met Evelyn through what, the website or... Oh, you met first Jose, and then he transferred with Evelyn, no? Maybe?
I think we sent an email to the website. Mm-hmm. I think the first person to respond was Evelyn, I believe, yeah. So, yeah, she's the first person from the distillery I spoke to. The first person I met from the distillery was Mario.
Okay.
Which, I love that guy. We've become...
buddies?
Oh, yeah. I love Mario. Mario's amazing. But, talked back and forth, and then it was time to come down and talk. I got on a plane to meet, and you've met him now, Matthias. You met him last year in Tequila, he's family. My daughters call him Uncle Matthias. His boys call me Uncle Dave. I love him to pieces. I'd do anything in the world for him. But I got on a plane. I knew his name. I was going to a country I'd never been in, to a city I knew that I had to get in a car and drive 3 hours to get to where I was going from. And I apologize. I'm probably going to butcher this, but Querétaro. So I flew in there. He is actually an engineer for GE. I didn't know him. I got off the plane and I stood outside the airport. Never been in Mexico before. Didn't know a soul. And just waited for somebody to pull up and pick me up. And here comes a guy, pulls up, and he rolls down the window and he says, Dave? I was like, yeah. And then without thinking, I said, how did you... Because there were people walking. He's like, well, I mean, it's... Yeah.
You told.
Right. He's like, it wasn't hard.
You look American to me.
It wasn't hard. So yeah, I hopped in the car. We stopped to get lunch right out of the airport and headed to Guadalajara. And the next day I met Mario, Mariana. I met the whole crew.
And the rest is history.
Yeah, absolutely.
So how's your experience so far? Working with the whole team and see how people work there.
With Casa Maestri? I love all you guys. I've never felt more welcomed. And I'm not just saying that. I'm sure I drove them nuts. They never told me they never told me to stop coming. For the first year, I was there at minimum every 2 weeks for 3 to 4 days. Because I wanted to learn the process. I can't just,
Yes. How you can talk about it if you don't know.
Well, right. And this is everything I had left. This is everything Jeff had. And we're not a corporation that's just going to make a brand and throw a bunch of money behind it. This has to work. So I have to know what I'm talking about. So I proceeded to drive them all nuts. And I was down there all the time. And, and I feel like they enjoyed having me around. Maybe they're fibbing to me, but I loved being there. And I'll never do business in tequila. I never do business tequila with anybody else. There's just no.
Well, appreciate that. That's very, very nice to hear. It's very motivated. So now, after you develop the brand and start, you have your first bottle.
Yeah.
And you came to the States. How is being the process from day one?
Well, as I was talking to you earlier, everybody told me we were going to have issues getting it in new places. It's a new brand, all of this. We haven't really run into that. I mean, the biggest issue I had with the brand itself is the bottle. I'm loyal to a fault. We picked the wrong bottle maker the first time. Mario told me to do what I did, but I'm loyal to a fault. And our first load, which was every dime I had, we had a loss rate of about 83 to 84% of the entire load. It showed up and it had been seeping out of the bottom. So
you couldn't claim that?
No. You make mistakes, right? And I'd like to think that I've made every single mistake there is. And that's why I think that I'm able to do the things I do now. I don't want to make the mistakes at a much larger.
So what you mean, you listen now?
Oh, yes, 100%. 100%. If Mario tells me something, I do it. Now, we haven't gotten to your part yet, so we'll wait for that. Okay. But if Mario tells me something, I listen. I say, yep, I won't take it as advice. I'll take it as you're telling me what to do, and I'll do it. But that was very hard. So we had to pivot. As far as the brand itself goes, everywhere we take it, everybody wants to have it. Places that we think we won't sell a bottle, we sell. I went to an outdoor show last year just because I'm like, well, at least get the brand out. I had a little booth sitting next to four-wheeled swamp vehicles, really tall. They had the guy that put on the show at the Outdoor Expo, right down from where we met, actually, right down in West Palm Beach. It was in Palm Beach, I believe. It was in West Palm Beach, right, the show. And I ended up selling 150 bottles in 2 days.
Yeah, you went to the right place.
Right.
They're used to the snakes and to all these creatures.
Right. But I just wasn't expecting it. I was expecting, fishing boats, guns and amps, all that kind of stuff. And I thought, well, we'll give it a shot. At least I'll let a lot of people try it. And I sold nonstop. I had no voice left when I was done.
No, the good thing you had inventory.
I did.
Because it's in Florida, correct? So you could just run and bring more.
Yeah, our distributor actually, I think he was saying some bad things under his breath to me after the first day when I said, you're going to have to drive 4.5 hours back to Tampa and get more bottles and bring them back.
He was not happy.
Yeah. So as soon as it was done that night, I drove with him. We got back at 3 a.m.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you accomplished at least to pay your show.
Oh, more than that. Yeah, we did really well. We've done great everywhere we've gone. We've gotten into places we told we were never going to get. When me and you first met, one of the first things you said to me, and you said it in passing, you said it to a group of people, you were like, whoever here gets into the cruise ships gets the golden star. You just said it in passing. I don't know what the golden star is.
No, it is a gold star.
I thought you were just saying that as here's your challenge. I didn't get in a cruise ship then, but I'm in them now.
You see?
So yeah, and
we are now in the cruise ship.
You're everywhere in the cruise ship.
No, but took me 5 years.
Yeah, our first delivery to first set of
was it Royal Caribbean or
the first one we got into was Margaritaville. We're in there. I think they have 3 ships, and then we are currently in talks with, believe it's Carnival. I don't really know the cruise ships that well. I just knew that you said that. So if it was a big boat, I was getting in it.
Yes.
So I'm there, at least.
Okay, you're sailing now.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I actually got invited to go on one of the cruises. I just didn't have the time at the time. My wife was very upset. She was like, I wanted to go. That was a free cruise. Next time.
Well, and your wife is very, very, very supportive.
100%. My wife is everything. Literally everything. My wife and kids.
Yeah.
If it wasn't for my wife, I wouldn't be where I'm sitting right now.
Very nice. You hear that? Yeah. So anyway, that's very hard to hear that and very nice to hear that.
Yes.
You know, it's both.
The hard part you learn. I've learned.
Appreciation is respect, Deborah. So, so now you are to the point that you have a lot of demand and you're growing. And it's another kind of pains that we're not going to talk about it, but they're good pains.
They are good pains.
And I want to congratulate you because you're going faster than I thought.
Yeah, you and me both. Yeah. It's been a super fun ride. Weird currently, but it's pains that I'm glad to have. I just can't wait until they're over and I can look back on it and just see what I want to look back on all this and just I have a vision of what I want to do and I know I can.
And what is your vision?
To leave something for my daughters.
You will.
Oh, yeah.
You're still young.
Oh, yeah.
You know.
Yeah. Very true.
So you have time.
Yeah.
You have time. So you're doing things right. I know it's not very fast, but it is fast from, there was 2 years or 3 years that we went to that convention in Florida. 2 or 3?
When we met, I think it was 2023, right? Yeah.
Yeah, so 2 years ago.
Yeah.
So you are really going fast.
Yeah. And when we met, all I had was at that time, my only shipment had showed up that October, and that was the one big lost shipment. So, we really honestly didn't get our next, because we had to change bottle makers, right? And that takes time to find the right guy. We didn't get another shipment in until right after we met. It would have been summer of 2023.
Yeah. And I think you will do in some states very good, like you're doing in Florida. Can be the biggest state so far, for now and for the future. Florida.
What about it?
What state will be your biggest state?
Oh, Florida.
Florida.
Oh, Florida.
For sure.
For sure.
Yes.
Yeah. Actually, my partner, Jeff, he's moving down to Florida as soon as we can kind of get rolling a little bit. I think he's headed down in the next month or two. He's just going to stay down there so he can be boots on the ground. So there's a lot less flying back and forth. He lives right down the road from me now. So anytime we go anywhere, we're on a plane. So he has the ability
to move.
Yeah. So he can go down there and work that. I'm going to focus a lot on Michigan because we're up in Michigan. So, and then I'm going to kind of bounce around when needed. Any of the shows, or Florida's big. I mean, I'll be in Florida.
So for the audience that doesn't know too much about tequila, could you tell them a little bit about your experience from the first day you went, learning about it? The people, the agaveros, the employees, kind of.
Oh, about the people? Tequila itself it's definitely in the lives of a lot of people. It's history. To me, it's the spirit that resembles wine the closest, because it's been around for a long, long time. The plant itself dictates how good the tequila is going to be. The little things you can do with changing the elevation of where it's grown, the temperatures and everything changes how the natural sugars in the plant mature, how it comes out. So, I mean, it's if you want to know something about tequila itself, fly into Guadalajara and drive to Tequila and just look around. It's everything. It's really cool. It's an amazing experience.
But how you describe the people who work in it?
People who work in it are very passionate about it and a lot of fun. I've yet to meet anybody that hates it. Like, as far as their job goes, everybody seems to be very happy to be in it. I met, now I don't know any of their names or anything, but the last time I was there on that trip down for the big event in Tequila.
For the festival.
A few of the people that walked up and talked to me and Matthias were guys, and I'm sorry that the name escapes me, but it's the guys that go out and harvest the plants.
Agaveros.
Yeah, they seem to absolutely love it. They were telling us about when they get to go, the fields they get to see, they were really getting into it. It just seems like it's a culture. It's not just a job or a thing that's done in one area. It is the area. I mean, it is everything about the people that live there. It's really cool.
Yeah, they're really all the people who live around Tequila. And most of the rural, north part of Jalisco in the south, everywhere. That is an agave plant. It's like 2-3 generations of agaveros that I was telling in another, episode that they don't have fingerprints of that touching that.
They're all gone. Well, and you can't anywhere around, what is it? It's the west of, well, now you can see it to the east, but when you leave Guadalajara heading west, there's not a square foot of ground that doesn't have an agave plant stuck in it. I mean, it's just, it's everywhere. It's everything.
So now that the price of the agave went down drastically, because when you start, the agave was very high.
Very expensive.
So now that went down drastically. Do you see affecting your brand at all? Or
because ours was timed in a weird spot, right? So when our very first run, the run that we lost a lot of, that was based on those prices. That January, all of our prices changed. So we weren't really in a lot of places at the time. So we just pivoted. It really wasn't anything to us. If I would think if we were an established brand, it would have. We just, I hate to say lucked out at that time, but we did. We just really weren't anywhere. So we were able to pivot without any issue.
Yeah. So this is in regards to Mexico and working with other people. Could you tell the audience how it's working with me?
I was working with you or your team?
No, with me.
I love it. I love it. I was scared to death of you. Mario did that. I went to dinner with Mario. This would have been, when's that show? The duty free show. Is it in April? I think it's in April.
It's in April.
Okay. Mm-hmm. So I would have been in
March, April.
I would have been in Guadalajara at dinner with Mario. And I asked him about the shows. I asked him about the shows that you guys attend. And I was like, well, being me, how much does it cost to go to a show? What is a show like? And being Mario, he does what he does. And he just picked the phone up and he, in the middle of the conversation, just stopped talking, picked his phone up and called somebody. Called you and asked if I could go to the show. And you said yes. Now, he was speaking in Spanish. I didn't understand what he said. So I was just sat in silence. And he's like, well, you're going to the show. And you're going to meet Celia. And you're going to respect everything she tells you. And she's very, very strong. She's very
bossy.
She knows what she's doing. She knows how to build a brand. You better listen. I mean, so yeah. So I remember the day I walked around the corner into your room that you had, and there you stood. And I didn't know what to say to you. Like, I felt myself, I got a little hot. Like, I'm like, okay, I get it. Her picture's on everything I see. What do I say? Hi. And I just belted out, hi, Mom, and hugged you. And it's been great ever since. And you're very strong, and you've directed me, and you've helped me in every way possible. And that's why I'm here today. I can't stress it enough. It's not about, me working with you as far as I have respect for everybody. I respect you to the end of the world. That's why I got on a plane. I'm sitting here.
Yeah, but we're going to make things happen for you. Yeah. We're going to help whatever we can, because I like when the people is, all into, and I see myself in you. For me, it's been a long, long, long road, especially being a Mexican coming to the United States.
Yeah, your stories.
All these stories. Mm-hmm. Very, very interesting story. But you have one thing that I don't. Time.
Oh, well, I don't,
Yes.
I don't know.
Yes.
Time can change for anybody at any moment.
Anyway, so tell us about good memories about your trips to Mexico or here, in the States selling your brand.
Every trip to Mexico, there's something. I mean, there's never, whether it's...
You are very funny too. People, you are not really here, but showing it yet, but you are a person, you're very funny.
I think it's my defense mechanism, so I can be comfortable.
Well, you can open here. This is just a nice family chat.
Okay, all right. So if it's family,
yeah,
which is the way I look at it.
Yes.
So fun stories. You owe me money, okay? Because I worked at your distillery for a long time, changing batteries in fire detectors. Okay.
Who owed you money?
You do.
Me. Okay.
Every time
I want you to go back again.
Every time I walk into the distillery for the first year, every time I'd walk in and there would be a fire detector beeping. Okay. And everybody's just sitting there working. And I'm looking, And I would walk up to anybody in front of me and, can you please stand up? And I'd take their chair and I'd get up and change the battery detector. I've cleaned the windows.
Okay, that's good.
No, it's
You got a stain remover? Because the ones that we buy there doesn't work.
oh, I can take some down there.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
You took it some.
I'll take some with me next time.
Okay.
I'll take the squeegees.
Yeah,
and I'll get it
and
down
all the
that,
stuff,
no
yeah.
problem. No, it's just
You
maybe
feel
this is
part of the family.
I feel I'm at home.
Yeah.
I just, whether it's good or not, I don't know if they think it's good. I just march in and start talking to people. I'll help people do whatever. I don't care. It's you guys. You guys have worked with me so closely that I love it. We all joke back and forth down there. I don't know if the joke comes off right because a lot of your employees down there don't speak English and I don't speak Spanish, so it's really funny to watch. But we get through it. I've made a lot of friends down there, and I feel like they like it when I come down. I always bring everybody gummy bears and everything else.
Yeah, you love gummy bears.
Oh God, I'm a gummy bear fiend.
Yeah, but it's he's tall.
I should.
And his body, and he comes and give you a gummy bear. So you say, oh, he's like a teddy bear, even in a big size.
Yeah. I told Mario, if I ever catch you up in Michigan for any event, I'm gonna capture you for a day, and we're gonna drive down to the Albanese gummy bear plant.
Okay.
And we're gonna go in there and have gummy bears, and it's gonna
I
be
have
awesome.
not been in Michigan. I went to the control state, but was not in Michigan.
Yeah.
The control state show NAFCA.
Yeah, we wanted to be there. It was just not the right time for us.
No, you're not there yet.
Yeah,
but
no.
even though I mentioned to you that if you somehow start having like a port order, like I just listed, but no, how you say that is when you request. You had a store.
Yeah.
So how you say when it's not really listed? How you say by order? Or?
Yeah, if the stores put in orders.
But
Yeah.
without being listed yet.
Yes, it shows.
If you get that in Michigan, and then you go to another little by little control states, even though you had to get a certain volume to be listed, you will have the biggest market so far in the control states because it's so hard to get in. When you get in,
Yep.
people really welcome new brands.
Yes. That is one thing. Like I said, we didn't go to the show.
No.
We are listed in Michigan.
Oh, wow.
So, and that's one of the states I wanted to be in because I live there. It's easy for me to go out and do what I need to do. So once we get able to ramp up and have some product on the ground we can open up to multiple states, we're going to send some.
Yeah,
up, so.
my husband Michael always say that is the biggest jewel behind, that not too many people know and not too many people had the opportunity to get in.
Yeah, it's definitely hard to get in. I know that. You definitely have to have some stores or restaurants that are asking distributors. Distributors then have to start the process with the state, and it's a long drawn out process. We're there, and we definitely hope to be in. We've had a few places ask for us in Ohio, which is apparently another good one to get into, but very difficult. We'll start that process next year.
We just start in Ohio.
You're not in Ohio?
We're just going to get in.
Okay, good.
Yeah. It's been I left the control states till the end. We are everywhere else.
Yes.
Because it was more difficult.
Right.
And I needed to have a good partner, to have a good distribution to get into, because it's not just to be listed. You had to have a good wholesaler who can provide and have inventory too. So for the people who doesn't know what control states means, could you explain it?
So there's different types of control states, but basically the states control everything. The states generally own the liquor. The states put in the orders. In some states, they dictate the price it can be sold at. It's very tightly controlled by the government of that state. So not only do you have the federal laws in those states, you also have the state laws that are
Controlling.
very controlling.
Yeah.
In Michigan owns, once the product crosses the border, Michigan owns it. It's sitting in one of their ADA warehouses, which is what we would classify as distributors. When a store, restaurant, or club puts in an order for liquor in that state, they're putting it into the MLCC's online orderings. So you don't really call your distributor. You don't call the person that walks in the store every other week talking to you about brands. You do it online through the state of Michigan. So, and each state that is controlled has something kind of like that. Michigan differs from some. There are some control states that actually own the liquor stores themselves. So not only does the state control the liquor, they own the liquor and they sell the liquor.
Yeah, when I went to NAFCA, they say, they were tasting the brand, and they said, where you coming from? Michigan, ABC. Okay. And then, where you going? Other person came and, what is your store's name? ABC. And then I realized that in all the states is at ABC.
It's a whole lot of ABC. I have a funny story about that. I actually remember the very first time. So Florida, right? So we started in Florida. For 1.5 to 2 years, I was going down once a month and spending 2 to 3 days with our distributor, going to stores, no product, just a bottle, and letting people look at it and try it and say, do you think this would be something you're interested in? So spent a lot of money doing that, a lot of time. And I remember the first time he took me to an ABC store, and I was so confused because I'm going, well, is this owned by the state of Florida?
Me too.
I'm so lost here. I thought ABC stores were in other states.
Yeah.
Just turns out that they decided to name their huge run of stores ABC.
Yeah, we all wish to be an ABC.
Yeah. But yeah, it's the same name. It's strange.
Yeah. Yeah. Another thing that I find out too was was Michael and I in that convention, because Michael understands upside down the control states. So he was a little skeptical, and I was doing. He was not in the conventions, in the last only WWA, but he was not in all the conventions that we go around the world or whatever. So he was like, I don't know if what you're doing is really working, like having a little doubt. So I invite him to go to the control state. And then the first person who walked in, he said, oh, wow, she has that tequila pina colada cream, she said, And I said, but I don't sell it in the control, myself, I was saying, I don't sell it in the control state yet. So, and then I said, she said, yeah, we just went to the Royal Caribbean Cruise, and we had that, and I came back and I couldn't find it in the stores, so I ordered online, and then my husband ordered a Casa Maestre Reposado, and he's in love with it. So now your customers, when you will be here? And I said, well, who are you?
Yeah, when you say,
I say, who are you? Right. When you want it, Right. So she was a wife of one of the decision makers or whatever. Mm-hmm. And I said, well, let me in.
Right. Yeah. It's always good to meet somebody like that.
Yeah, but that's a good experience. So Michael, after all that he saw, because a lot of people recognize the brands from another place. He said, well, I guess you guys are doing a good job.
Yeah. Absolutely. And that was just this most recent one?
Yeah.
Michael said that just recently?
Yeah, just say that. Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. I see your brand. I sold your brand.
Yeah. I sold you too when I
stores.
Before?
Mm-hmm.
Well, Michigan, we always.
I used to sell your brand before I ever knew anything about it.
Yeah. Life goes the way
it's very strange.
Yeah, it's very strange.
One quick thing I'll say, I didn't realize, even though through email and talking on the phone when I was talking with Evelyn and we were getting everything done, I didn't realize
that we were behind. No, the brand was there.
I didn't put 2 and 2 together. I didn't even think about it. When I walked into the distillery and I saw the symbol up on the wall, I was like, oh, okay. I used to sell this brand.
I know where I'm
at. I know where I'm at, sort of.
Yes.
But yeah.
Well, Dave, I think we had a very good time talking. Do you want anything to say before we leave? We can stay here all day.
Try it. If you don't like it, I get tired of the stories that everybody says they had a bad tequila evening when they were younger. So did I. But try good tequila. It'll change your life.
Try. What's the name of your tequila?
Serpentes.
And where we can find it?
Right now, you can find it in Michigan, Florida, and Arizona.
And pretty soon in another 3 or 4 states.
Yeah. There's a few on the list.
Well, thank you to fly all the way down here to be with us today. And thank you, everybody, for watching Behind the Bottle. This episode, don't miss it. It's a lot of stuff going on here. Have a good day.
That's it for today's episode. Thanks for listening to Behind the Bottle, Tequila Tales by Celia Maestri. The next story's already aging to perfection, so don't miss it. See you soon. Don't forget to follow us on social media and your favorite podcast listening platform.